All right, so we will begin today on our bellies on this nice outstretched blanket. Hands can be underneath the forehead. And just ground the body here for a few moments. Take an inhale. And a long exhale. Perhaps you can sense the movement of the body with the breath on the floor. Tune into that rise and fall as you soften into the mat on the exhale. Few rounds. Maybe on the next inhale, widen the breath and sigh out the mouth. Again. See what effect it has on the body to sigh out the mouth. Breathe in and out. Bend the knees. So soles of the feet will face the ceiling and just lie here. And then roll the ankles, perhaps slower than usual. Noticing where you want to rush. Sense any little stuck points. Reverse directions. And pause once more. And allow those shins to lull to the right. Pause. Breathe in. As you breathe out, send the legs over to the opposite side. Take a deep breath in. And out to switch sides. Continue this action. Slower windshields than normal. And then speed it up to normal pace. And feel into the hips. And then reground the shins on the mat. Hands here, if the hands are under the forehead, you keep them there. And slowly lift up through the thoracic spine, upper spine, just a little. Inhale. And here we have the hands and the arms in a diamond shape today. And then lower back down. Full release at the bottom. And inhale to rise. And it's got like a little baby back bend. And lower. Think about, one of your grandbabies when they first pressed themselves up and started to get ready to crawl. That first press up as they start to use their arms. It's like what you're doing here. Get some length through the spine each time you rise and lower softly. Let's do about 3 more depending on your pace. This will vary with your breath. Again, inhale, broaden across the chest, the shoulders draw back a little and lower. Finish up one more round lift and return to the earth. Slide those hands closer to the upper ribs, wherever it feels nice and strong here, to press yourself into a tabletop. Rock forward and back, either toes tucked or not, up to you. Nice and slow. Nothing more than this, just the gentle rock. Let the breath be as it is and see when you naturally inhale and exhale. Around 2 more. Maybe reach back a little further with the hips, a little more forward, and a little further back. And return to tabletop and arch the spine. So we have our cat cow here, our cat tilts, and then round the spine, arch, and round. Just 2 more. One last time, inhale and exhale round. Lower back onto the belly again. Hands underneath the forehead once more. Bend those knees, those soles of feet again face the sky. Low the legs over to the right, but then sweep them around to make a circle with the shins over to the left. So just circle the shins from right to left. If this doesn't feel good, you could go back to the sway side to side. Otherwise, see what it's like here to make this circle. Maybe slow it down. Know yourself move through space. Tend to those shins as they travel around. Maybe even sense the air on your skin, the light breeze as you circle those shins. Pause and reverse directions. So right to left. Other way. Let's see how this feels. How does this affect the hips? One more time. And replant those shins back on the earth. Press up into Sphinx for a moment. So on the forearms here. Perhaps make fists today with the hands and draw the elbows back to broaden across the chest. Drop the chin. And look up if it's safe for the neck today. And again, head flexes forward and extends back. Active press through the arms. A little bit of work through the arms here. Let's do around 2 more. Up and down with the head. Final time, look up. Perhaps inhale. Maybe stick with the tongue. As you return to center with your gaze, lower back down, hands again slide closer to the ribs so you can press yourself up back into that tabletop once more. This time, make circles with the body around, forward and back toward the hips. Yeah, and the elbows might need to bend or the arms will respond and move a little. Circle here. Feeling the weight distribution shift from side to side. Just sense that for a while here. Perhaps the eyes are closed. Turn inward. One more in this direction. And reverse. Go opposite way. And sense yourself moving through space. Sense your body and perhaps kind of the outline of your body as you move. Just a few more. Last one. And we'll return again to the belly. It's back and forth here today. Hands again underneath the forehead, heavy the forehead to the earth. Let's lift that right leg and reach it a little longer and place it back down. Left leg, reach and place it back down. Those arms can extend on the earth in front of you in this posture of surrender as you make your body as long as you can. Tent the fingers and walk them out further from the body. See if you can find length here. Toes to fingers. And breathe. Another inhale here. And then exhale. Those hands will slide back in. And be in cactus. They can be 90-degree angle and stay on the earth. Let's do that for a few rounds. And then that right leg, bend the knee, slide the leg out to the side, and then return the leg long behind you. Opposite side, leg goes out to the side, kind of looks like a frog leg, and then returns. So continue here. You might find the head also wants to respond. So this is an option. Or you might prop onto the forearms and do the same thing. You might naturally find that you want to gaze over that shoulder, same shoulder as leg. Explore that, explore the neck. Next time you're on one side, pause and leave the leg where it is and explore the head. Perhaps look over the shoulder and then return to center. So a few times, rock the head. Moving through the neck helps to relax the nervous system. All right, turn on the parasympathetic side of the nervous system. One more inhale, perhaps gaze over that shoulder. Return to center. Lower down for just a moment. And slide that leg long. Opposite leg will bend. Prop yourself up back onto the forearms if you chose that variation. Gaze over that new shoulder of the bent leg and return the gaze to center. Again, glance and return to neutral. And what effect does this have on the breath? Tuning into somatic experience, body awareness. Let's do two more. Last one. Final glance. Return head to center. Lower down and slide that leg back in. Again, press your hands. Lift up into that tabletop once more. A little rock forward and back. And now, come to neutral. Arch the spine over. So C-curve the spine to the right. So your bottom kind of shifts to the right as you gaze over that shoulder. And then look over the left shoulder. And the right, C-curve the spine. This may feel a little awkward. The next time you see curve and look over to the right, take the shins over to the right and pause here. And the head again can play with the neck. Gaze over that shoulder, perhaps return to center. Gaze over that shoulder and return to center. And if you don't like the shins over to the side, that's okay. Bring them back to center. Just kind of on a diagonal here. Exploring lateral movement. One more. And then return to center. We won't go to the other side yet. Instead, take that right leg back. You can be on the pad of the foot here. Rock forward and back. And then pause and lift that right leg. Sweep it over to the left. The toes will point down on the left-hand side, probably off the mat. And here again, we can gaze this time over the left shoulder. Maybe even just pause and stay. Looking to the foot. Few breaths. Inhale. And exhale to return to center. Keep that leg lifted. Bring the right leg out to the side. The foot can then plant. From here, that right arm will rotate open, or really lead from the chest to rotate open to the right. And then thread that right hand underneath the left armpit. And then again, rotate open and close. I like to inhale, open, and exhale, close. Do this in your own time. As you press through that right foot to protect the inseam of that long leg. If for some reason there's discomfort in the extended leg, you could bring the legs back side by each again in our regular tabletop and do the same flossing. Let's do two more. Last one, spiral open. And then take that right hand back to the earth. The torso will turn toward the earth. You can reach the fingertips of the right hand a little further away from the body, and you might sit back a little, maybe not even at all, though that's okay. Get this length through that right side of the ribs and the back. And then return with the hands. Lift that right leg, take it back behind you, then draw it through. So here, the thigh and the shin are in alignment as we slide that right leg further back. So it's kind of a moderated version of pigeon where you stay nice and high and engage this time through the legs. So you're actually lifting up a little bit. Maybe you also play with the neck here and nod the head up and down. Press through that back leg. And see how that feels in the hip flexor, the thigh. Return to center with those hands planted. If your blanket's nice and slidey, should be able to slide that leg back and lower onto the belly once more. Press up again into Sphinx. We'll do those same leg slides. Right leg comes out to the side and returns. Left leg slides out and returns. Lots of repeats today, which can be soothing for the nervous system. One more each side. Final time. Return to center, lower down. Let's reach those arms out again. Lift the left leg this time a little higher and return it to the earth. The right leg, reach it out and return it to the earth. Tent fingers, walk them out. Find this length. Breathe. And the hands will slide in. Again, we press up into that tabletop. Gaze over one shoulder and then the other as we C-curve the spine once more. Next time you come over to the left, stay. Maybe take those shins out to the side. Decide if you'd like to look forward and over that shoulder. Notice how the neck feels. Two more. Last glance over the shoulder, doing so. Return the head to center, shins return to parallel. That left leg, slide it out nice and long. Rock on the foot for just a moment. And then pause, lift that leg and send it over toward the right hand side across the body. The toes will touch down on the right side. Perhaps you gaze over the shoulder and see what this is like. Breathe deep. Another breath in. As you exhale, lift that foot, sweep it back, and then arc it out to opposite side, left side. The foot plants, leg is long. Rotate open to the left and thread that arm underneath opposite armpit. Again, spiral open and closed. Continue. Maybe the eyes close again. Maybe they already are. Feel the movement. This will help us with our brain, right? To stay connected to the body. Keep those neural connections. The body and the brain. Gentle mobility movements that will soothe the nervous system. A few more. Let's do 2. Last one, reach underneath and lift that arm to sky. And the hand will plant in front of you, probably further out to the edge of the mat, and then sink the hips maybe a little further behind you. The hand, left hand will slide in a little. Long stretch here. And return the hand side by each. Lift that left leg, sweep it in behind, and then slide the left leg through. So the shin is on the earth, thigh is above the shin. You can stay as high as you'd like here. Press through the back leg. Perhaps you're on tented fingers, depending on the length of your arms. Could even use blocks here. I know some of you have blocks today. Maybe again, you explore the neck. How does it feel since the beginning of class? Does it feel more open? Maybe more fluid? A little longer here. One more time, the gaze might trail up. Perhaps you exhale, stick the tongue out. Head returns to center. Hands on the earth here. Again, see if you can slide that leg back and switch it for the right. I know we've already been on the side, but switch it for the right. Hopefully your blankets are as silky as mine. And then other way, slide the left leg in. And switch. You have fleece. I know this works with fleece. And continue to slide in and out. Getting our hips prepared. One more time each side. Final time. And both legs slide back as we come onto the belly again. This time, glue the right hand to the forehead. So the back of the hand is glued to the forehead. The other arm is in a cactus, or that 90-degree position. Okay. With the hand glued to the forehead, lift into the upper back. So our baby back bent, and then lower part way. Lift and lower. You could add the opposite leg, lift and lower, just to see what this is like, this bilateral cross the body here, right to left. A little bit of work. Let's do 2 more. The last one, lift and lower. Opposite sides, the left hand will glue to the forehead. The right arm is out in cactus. Lift, perhaps on the inhale, and lower. Lift and lower. Just a little work on extension. Bring awareness to upper back. Got the support of the hand there for the head. Add the leg if you haven't already. So if you like this, do two. Last one, reach and lower back down. Those hands will again come close to the body. Press yourself up, and this time really round through the back, especially low back. And with rounded back, do that rock forward and back. Mhm. And pause in this rounded position and see if just with the pelvis you can now make circles. So the pelvis, it's like it's circling a bowl. Nice and rounded after that extension. Feel what it's like to have flexion in the spine. Reverse directions. Any stuck points here? Ooh. And that little rock forward and back again. You might need to, just for safety, depends on your mat and your blanket. Take your hands off the blanket so you can unfold it a little bit, only so that the hands can be on the mat. Tuck the toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. We're now lengthening the backs of the legs. We'll pause here. Maybe you nod the head. No. Or yes. Mhm. And those knees will return to the earth. You can stretch that blanket out once more on the mat. Last time coming down on the belly. Bend that right knee and clasp that right ankle with the hand if you can reach it. If not, you just reach back or clasp the pant leg. Press the pelvis into the earth here. If you'd like a small bow, you can keep the left forearm on the earth and arch through the upper spine here. So lifting the gaze a little, taking a few breaths. And then return the forehead to the earth if it wasn't already there. Lengthen that right leg and we'll switch. So that left hand will reach back for that same leg. Press the pelvis down in this quadricep stretch. Perhaps lift the gaze, upper spine experiences extension. Perhaps another inhale and exhale to lower back down. Press into those hands, into that tabletop once more. let's see if pigeon is in your practice. Hopefully we've awakened the hips enough for this. We'll give it a try. Let's take that right leg. The other leg can be planted. Cross the right leg in front. The shin is almost draped, but we're pretty high here. We're more in a tabletop, okay? And press, it's a little different, that right foot into the left leg for a moment. Just press and see if that knee opens more, that right knee, and then release. Press, it's kind of the outer ankle of the right foot's pressing into the other shin, and release. So just this little press and release. We're kind of opening the hip a little bit. A little different. One more time. And then soften that shin to the mat. And this is where that pillow will come in handy. Okay, and I'll show another option if this doesn't work for you, but I'll model this first. That pillow could come underneath the right hip to keep this a little more gentle if you'd like. And that right shin is draped. Walk the toes of the left foot further back, nice long leg. And maybe you stay nice and high today with more of a press through the front shin into the mat to protect the knee. But if this does not feel good, okay, I think because I can't tell if everyone's in it, I'll just model it in case. Okay, instead, come on to the spine. That right leg will come up into the air, flex through the ankle, cross the ankle over the left thigh, and draw it in. So do this instead if there's an issue, because I can't quite tell from here. Okay. Hmm. If you'd like to come down, you can. I'm choosing to stay high today. Really different experience. Another inhale, and then exhale to slowly try to release. So you may need to slide that that right shin back in alignment, perhaps with the thigh, like we had it earlier. And then extend that leg back behind you. Got a bit of a foot cramp, so I'm going to choose to land on the forefoot here and rock. Sorry, but that was for me. Rock. Mhm. And return to tabletop here. And let's take that right shin or left shin forward in front of the right thigh. Okay. So the outer ankle is in contact with the right thigh. Press it into the thigh and see how this feels in the hip. A little in and out, little press, a little release, a little press, a little release. Let's do two. One more open to see how this feels. And then let the left shin drape. Slide the left leg further back. Take your pillow if you'd like to use it underneath left hip. If you're going to be in the high pigeon, even if you're in the low pigeon, press through back leg, active through front shin as well. This higher variation where there's some strength while you stretch protects the body a little more. And again, if you had chosen the other option, I'll model that now. If you're on your back, that left ankle flexes, crosses over other thigh, and take the bottom leg in if you'd like. You breath. Another inhale. Exhale, maybe out the mouth. And remove the pillow if you have it. Slide that left shin in toward you so it can come right underneath the right thigh. That's comfortable for you. And that leg will slide back. Both knees can match in tabletop. Maybe you're able to sit back on your heels, if not cross-legged. Okay. And then a little lean back here. So the hands come behind the body as we lift the hips. More stretch for the fronts of the legs. And then lower the hips. Lift, inhale. And exhale to sink. Continue here. Let's do 3, 2, last one. Very nice. Those legs will swing in front of the body. You might use that pillow again if it's a low pillow to sit on, right on the edge, or maybe on top of the legs as we fold here. So inhale and exhale to fold either with long spine or a rounded spine. That's where the pillows can be nice so that you can stack yourself up here. So the head doesn't feel so heavy. I have my fists underneath my forehead. Breathe into the back of the heart. Perhaps you visualize green. Inhale, let it glow brighter. And exhale. Inhale, glows brighter. Exhale to release any effort. Roll up through the spine. And let's take a gentle opener for the heart space. So you can scoot yourself more to the center of your mat. That pillow can come behind the heart and lower down onto it. Open up across the chest. Maybe the knees stay bent with the feet planted, or some people might like legs long or knees knocked together. We worked the upper body a little bit today, so see if we can gently open it a little. Maybe splay the fingers, reach the arms a little further away from the body. Intensify the stretch. There's a little bit of activity here now as you reach, reach, reach. See if this affects the breath. Another inhale. And exhale, bring the hands together above you. Interlace the fingers and press the backs of the hands toward the sky. And then reach the arms overhead to any degree. They may or may not touch down. Take note of which thumb is on top. And then circle the arms. Interlace the fingers with the opposite thumb on top. Press the hands to the sky and then overhead toward the earth. Nice deep breath. And circle those arms again around. Roll over to one side so you can remove that pillow. You can lie on the back. And first, we'll take a stretch for kind of the hips and the spine. So send your hips slightly over to the right. The pillow can be on the left if you'd like to use it, right near the legs. And then let the legs lull over to the left-hand side. They might land on that pillow if you'd like. So you can open across chest again while getting some rotation and sensation maybe into right hip. And then cactus that right arm if you'd like, and reach it long, reach it up, and then draw it back in. So elbow closer to side. And then lengthen the arm and draw it in. So we bend and lengthen. See how this affects the stretch. Maybe you feel the back of the hand slide on the earth, the arms slide. Even the temperature of the floor on your skin. More time, reach really, really long. And exhale that arm. Right arm might circle all the way around as you roll onto your left side. A tiny little ball. And in your own time, return to the spine. That pillow can be placed on the opposite side of the mat, so the right side perhaps. The hips can shift over left a little if you'd like as the legs go right. And decide how you'd like to be here. The pillow can even go between thighs. Arms outstretched. Gaze where you want it. Bend that right arm. Reach it up and over, or up overhead rather, and draw the elbow in. Lengthen the arm and draw it in. Continue here. This gentle flow, gentle movement. Let's do 3, 2. Last one. How far can you reach? And then that left arm will circle up and overhead as you roll onto the right side fully. Lay on your side. Another breath in. And exhale to find your spine. That pillow, take it underneath the hips. So that diamond-shaped bone in the spine and the pelvis. And hug that right knee in toward the chest. Lengthen that leg and rebend. Lengthen and rebend. Maybe play with the foot. If you had a pointed foot, maybe you try a flex foot just to see what effect that has on the tension or sensation of stretch further down the chain, further down that leg. One more time, that leg can lengthen. Stretch for a moment here. And some people, it's not for everyone, but some people might like to lengthen that left leg, get a stretch kind of in through the front of the leg. Rebend that right knee, hug it in. That right leg can go long. Maybe it's just the right leg. Maybe it's both legs. Maybe you reach overhead. Uh, and then that left leg will slide in, hug it in. That other foot could be planted, especially to start. And then reach the left leg long and bend. So extend and flex. Two more. Last one this way, then flex foot or take it in a different position, whether pointed or flexed. A few more like this. Let's do two more. Maybe hug that knee a little more close to the body. You might find it can come in a lot more. And then re-bend the leg. Nice hug here. Option to lengthen the right leg if it feels okay in the sacrum. So kind of the diamond-shaped bone, base of spine. Maybe that right left foot plants, or maybe both legs go long as you reach overhead. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Bring on a yawn. And then hug both knees into the chest. And then plant the feet, heel toe, the feet a little wider. So outside edges of the mat, those knees can cave in for knee mountain. So it's like you have a triangle with your legs. If this feels okay for you, or parallel for a few breaths, as if you could breathe into your toes. And now we'll come into our Savasana. You could always stay here or take a posture of your choice that you find soothing, that you can take active rest in. Or Savasana, maybe legs outstretched, maybe that pillow goes underneath the backs of the knees. Lengthen that spine and let it settle. the mind wanders, return to the breath or sensation in the body. Tune into something available in this moment. As the breath slowed, maybe there's a pause at the top and or bottom of the breath. Still point. Where one thing is ended and another about to begin. But instead, focusing on that, we stay. We stay with what is, or we allow the breath to cycle through the body once more. Fighting whatever there is, whatever's coming to arrive in its own time. Lay the fingers on the right hand, stretch them, and release. Stretch the fingers on the left hand and release. Reach the right arm a little longer from the body and soften. Reach the left arm a little further out from the body and soften. Splay the right toes, flex at the ankle, and let that soften. Flex left ankle, splay the toes, and let that soften. Maybe lift and lengthen that right leg a little more, and then the left one. Then sweep those arms above you and then to the floor. Reach the body nice and long. Maybe point the toes. Circle those arms around so you can draw the knees into the chest. Maybe you take a happy baby here. And then the feet will match each other, join each other in the air. The palms can come together and rub the soles of the feet together, rub the hands together. Feel. Then pause and just sense into the soles of feet and the hands. They may be splayed an inch or two. And then the hands can return to the heart. The feet can plant. Thumbs to the sternum, breathe into the heart. And from this supine position, thank you for practicing with me today. Sat Nam. Truth is thy name, truth is thy essence. May we see things truthfully when we leave our mats. Sat Nam.